think that we have to, like I said, it's better for us to be depressed and suicidal than happy Negroes. That's more threatening.
Yeah. And I was thinking of various things. Like, I think there's a difference between saying, like, what is that we selling, what we being sold, right? Because selling mean, like, we do serve as a accomplice to the system in certain ways. But we don't control our image in regards to mainstream platforms. So we saying, like, our entertainment or our record labels. We don't have, like, a Motown today, right? So do we have agency now that we have, like, podcasts, social media? We do now have a way to reclaim our narrative, but in many ways, we didn't always have that agency. Another thing about it wasn't always this. I think that's a great point. Like, I listened to Marvin Gaye. We had Sam Cooke, right? So I don't think trauma was the only thing that sells. I think that's the only thing being sold to us right now, but it wasn't the only thing that sold. That's not true. Because we had millionaires and people that sold record label. James Brown, that was about joy. Jackson 5, The Temptations, that was a joyful time. My first reference of a black person was Michael Jackson. And when I seen Michael Jackson, I thought I'd be the face of the world. So there was a time with joy. Was that the Apollo Theater in Harlem? Mm-hmm. That was joy, right? So I think there has been a shift in regards to what we being shown, and then we always going to say is that you begin to imitate what it is that you see. The way I say is that, like, media not only plays a role in telling stories but shaping identity. And if we continue to show repeated images, and psychology is another part of it, right? In psychology, they say there's self-fulfilling prophecy, meaning that you become what it is that I label you. And I think in many ways you start to conform the images. So I would say today, I mean, the goal when even having this conversation, like, how do we start to take ownership of our images? But it's by showing different references. As a young black man, my first reference that made me know I could speak with conviction was Louis Farrakhan. But a lot of times we don't even speak upon our Islamic leaders. The only one we know is Malcolm X. We don't talk about Elijah Muhammad. We don't talk about Louis Farrakhan. It's like, even they have dictated, we saying we or they. Who are they? It's the people that, it's white people, right? And the majority of them happen to be a part of a certain, we don't usually speak about, but certain ethnicity that own our images. And they also have defined who our leaders are. We only talk about Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, and I see and I go, why is that? We never talk about the Nation of Islam, which could happen to be the only institution that still exists today that had built a black economic system that has existed from the 80s until now. You get me? So I think about black exploitation. That's a time period where we had films like Foxy Brown, Shaft, Superfly, where they did show us a certain image of, like, a black woman, meaning all the negative stereotypes, right? So we had, like, Pootie Tang. I mean, know that Blank Man. You feel me? But we can't say that things that's not trauma don't sell, because Black Panther sold.
Yes, sir.
It's sold, and that's what made it big. You feel me? So I don't think that that's the only thing that sells, but I do believe that's a cycle that's being sold to us right now, and we do play a role. Like you're saying, I look at JT. She got a song called Rain. I was like, strippers outside the parking lot. I never knew that, right? And there was a time period where we would hold men accountable, like, yo, we don't like the way in which you show women in your films, but now it's like the women are doing it to themselves, right? And then we never hear that conversation of accountability. And Spelman, and I'm gonna let somebody else, I'm gonna pass it. It's a documentary called Beyond Rhythm and Bars, and Nelly had a song called Tip Drill, where you're swiping a credit card through her behind. And feel me, they went to go do a bone marrow drive at Spelman, and girls at Spelman was like, nah, you can't do that here, because we don't like the way in which you show women in your films or in your music videos. And I look at today, I'm like, where are those women today? I don't see y'all sit there and take a stance like, nah, JT can't come to Spelman and perform. We can't have Gorilla win gospel album. That didn't make sense to me. That was like blasphemy that she won like a gospel song of the year. You could not play that in church.
But I think that goes back to what he said is like, or I think what you said, which is the record labels, they're pushing the combination. They're pushing that as gospel music, right? But then when Yeezy dropped his gospel album, everybody was against it,
right? So
it's just like, that's why I say, like, yes, they have control, but we have more power we have the power of saying no. We have the power of not consuming, and that's what I think is the hardest. Because how do you tell? I mean, it's like discipline. It's like working out every morning. It's like, how do you say no to this music that you grew up listening to?
But something else got to be teaching you. If your parents look like the images too, that's another part.
Right.
I be telling you, you shouldn't dress like that, but your mom looked like that too. So how can I tell a young woman she shouldn't aspire to do that? If your pop's in a game, I'm like, yo, bro, you shouldn't look up the Little Dirk and ESTG, but your pops is that.
Right.
You admire and be your pop. So, like, I think we could say, but a lot of people, all right, like socialization, they say, like, how we are raised to taught to navigate a space. Most time we spend a lot of our time on media. So media is raising our children in many ways. You feel me? It's like, how do we combat that? It's children that we give them the iPad now when they crying. It's not like we give them a book or let them cry. So you have to learn how to do something. We don't jump rope. It's like everything is technology. So we pass you the device, and the device is raising our children now. You feel me? So I like to say like, yo, nah, we have the choice not to engage with it, but we are giving it to our children. We passing those iPhones to them. You 12, you 4 years old with an iPhone. I couldn't get my iPhone until I was in 8th grade. I didn't have a Facebook until 10th grade. Now you got Facebook at 8 years old.
So I would, and this is to come back to what you said and second on what you said, because you mentioned the main thing. How do we do this? I would insert the idea that our greatest export is running out of time. Yeah. Our greatest export right now is entertainment. The Black community exports entertainment, and we need to gatekeep it.
That's a good transition.
That's a great transition.
Part 2, down to business. Grown folk, you'll debate and answer 7 questions on various topics, earning fro coins along the way. 2 red-marked questions could get you canceled if handled carelessly. An alarm will signal when they pop up. Debate openly, respectfully.